really. And in a sense, he's not really believing what he's hearing. And I think it's interesting that here he is, a man, a priest who works in the temple, in the church, if you will, all the time, and yet he doesn't expect maybe God to show up. I think that's pretty interesting, doesn't it? Does it strike you as a little odd that he is surprised when the angel comes and gives him this news? And, may it be that we here today, as we go through the motions every Sunday, that if God were to actually, show up in a mighty way, that we would be surprised? That we would be surprised to feel his presence? That we would be surprised if a tear actually came down from our eye? That we would be surprised if we felt the presence of the Holy Spirit and felt the presence of God in this church today? Would that amaze us all? Would it shock us all? Well, I hope it doesn't, because I think we should come every Sunday expecting God to just show up and to be in our midst. And I know there's been those times in my life, and it's not always been in church, by the way. I'd be praying at a bedside or driving down the road. Maybe you've experienced that, where you're driving down the road, listening to a gospel song, and all of a sudden you just feel the presence of God so strong that you sense him in the car with you or in the place with you. And you know that you've had a God moment. You know that God has shown up, and you just thank God for that moment. And they don't happen all the time, but they're wonderful when they do happen. And so, yes, there's trouble all around us, and there's depression, and there's black and darkness and all that, but at the same time, we have a hope. Just, the first coming of Jesus did not do away with all the troubles. It was just the first part of the fulfillment. And the second coming, Jesus is going to set up his kingdom, and all these things will be made right. But we still have to look toward that future day. And we see that glow in the distance, that morning sun beginning to rise. It's still a little dark yet, but we can see that glow. We know there is still hope. There's still hope. And I want you today, no matter what you're going through, to trust in a God who will not let you down. And he is faithful. And God does sometimes intervene in our lives and do things that we can't even imagine that he's going to do. And as we get ready to enter into a new year, we don't know what the year's going to hold, but we know this. God is God. And God will take us through, and God will be with us. And God, the light of the dawn, will be there with us through this next year as we go into 2023. And I'm so thankful that we can go through this together, but God's presence will always be with us. And so